What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Listography. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. Songs of the Year series. It's the bicentennial, 1976. We are getting close to our 20th episode of this series. Hard to believe we are already that far into it. Next week will be number 20. I like this year a good bit. I think starting to see some new names crop up on my list. The Hot 100 still not looking great, but lots of cool albums. You like the Hot 100 this year?
I kind of do. There was a lot of hits from the top 100 that I think are fun. I admittedly like a lot of disco hits, so you're starting to get a lot more of that sound, but you still like rock is pretty much far removed for, a good bit of the top 100, unfortunately. But there was definitely fun stuff to pick from. That said, I only have one disco song on my top 5 from 100, but yeah, from albums of the year, I thought this was kind of maybe like the bottom third of the best of the 70s, but tons of good tracks.
I hate this year, relatively speaking. Definitely the worst of the 70s. I thought 78 was the worst, but clearly something about 76 just doesn't feel right to me. It's like we've went over like the peak and now we're like heading down, and like it's very obvious to me looking at my list that a lot of good songs still, but the glory days I think have passed us by, and soon we got a bunch of new wave and all that New York art school whatever garbage that I just don't like at all. So interesting to see where my lists go. Fortunately we have metal rising from the depths soon, so that'll be nice. But I don't know, there's just something about this year just irks me. Can't put my finger on it.
You say you just said I don't like that scene at all, but when we do those discographies, you'll be dishing out 4s and 4.5s like nothing. But yeah, I hate this. It's 4.5 out of 5.
All right. So quick recap of the roles. We do 2 separate lists. One is 5 choices from the Hot 100. Could have charted 1 week at number 100. If it hit the charts at any point during the year, it counts for that list. The other list is a wildcard list. Can be anything. Could have also charted. Could be a deep cut. Could be a B-side. Could be from a soundtrack. Could be anything at all. One of those 2 lists will be 1 song short because we save our favorite song of the year to reveal at the end. And then you can go vote for which of our song of the year is your favorite over at our website by following the link down in the description. And right before we reveal the winners, we also give our pick for our least favorite top 40 song of the year. Joe, you want to check the leaderboard for us? Where are we at?
There's nothing could make me... Excuse me, Cramser. I was about to say nothing could make me happier than to announce Thunder Road's destruction of It Makes No Difference, 71% to 29%, which shoots me to the top, my friend. Your new leader with 9 victories. 70s have been good to me. Cramser still in the rear, but 5.5. We're still in the 70s. There's a lot of years to go. Jason with 8.5, so he's just a half point behind. Anything can happen in 76. We'll see.
I take pride in being in last place. It means I'm an individual and I'm not a sheep like you two badasses.
Starting, of course, with our Billboard. Had to chart. This is a weird year for me. And we're getting to the point where there a lot of like these albums come out and their singles are charting the next year. So like I kept finding songs like, oh yeah, this came out in 76 and then it didn't chart until 77. So I kind of just scrambled to find my 5, but bringing up the rear, I got I'll Be Good to You by Brothers Johnson. Great funky upbeat jam. Just fantastic bass and guitar, really. Made it all the way to number 3. Nice, not really disco, a little funky, little disco, whatever. Number 4, surprisingly didn't make my top 10 for Steely Dan, but Kid Charlemagne did chart low. It was like in the 80s or something, but I'm gonna use it. One of Steely Dan's best songs about a drug dealer. They have many. and two killer guitar solos and really great bass work from Chuck Rainey on this one. Number 3, the album came out in 75, so it's a little bit of a reach, and it's also a double A side, but I couldn't find any info on whether or not it was the charting one or the other A side. So I'm just going to go with it because I want to get Elton John one last chance to get on the top 100 here. I feel like a bullet in the gun of Robert Ford. This is kind of the end of the Imperial era of Elton John, but this is classic Elton, big, powerful piano ballad. Really cool guitar, like synth combo, the way it swirls together in there. Probably from his last great album, Rock the Westies. Number 2, supposed to be a glissando. Dancing Queen, ABBA, pinnacle of disco. I love ABBA, obviously, and I think this is the only hit from them that charted in 76. They're another one where it kind of spills over. So got to get ABBA on the list though. And my number 1 is going to be Saved because it did make the Billboards, my favorite of this year. So I'm going to save it.
Joe had a few that I considered but didn't make it. But I'm going to go with Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, charted just at the beginning of this year, first week. What more can you say about it? It is a legacy song. It has come back to chart over and over and over again. It just is the song that will not die. It's absolutely fantastic in its production and vocal harmonies, and Brian May's riffage is perfection. I'm going to go disco. I'm going to go with the Bee Gees, my favorite song by them, You Should Be Dancing. I love it. It's so cool. It's got a tremendous bass line in the chorus, and I don't know what the hell they're saying in the pre-chorus, but I love it when he's like, and I have no idea what he's saying, but it just sounds so cool. Great. I'm also going to go with Peter Frampton with Baby I Love Your Way. Even before High Fidelity, and they are all like, I hate this song, and now I love it. I loved it before then. I think it's just a great 70s radio love rock song. I think it's fantastic. No one rhymes the word way like Peter Frampton. He just knows all the rhyme schemes for it. Every day, show me the way, all of that. He just does it over and over, and it never gets old. Really lovely song. And we will be talking more about this song in coming weeks because we'll be doing their discography. Showdown by Electric Light Orchestra. It's just got a tremendous string lead to it, but it's just so catchy, and it's like just got this kind of like cool dark edge to it. I think it's really awesome. And then a song that I had slated for a deep cut way before I even planned to do this list, but was shocked to see it actually charted. I'm going to go with Mozambique by Bob Dylan off Desire. Excellent song, tremendous fiddle on it. It is like an incredibly infectious, joyous duet. I believe it's kind of about like just walking around Mozambique. I think it's a year or two after they kind of like got their independence or something like that. And it's just painting this really nice picture of like a town full of life and cafes come to life and all of this sort of stuff. It's a really awesome song, and it's just got a cool groove. Terrific jam off Desire, one of the most underrated Dylan albums. Jason, take it away.
So, as I think Cram said, not much hard rock in the Hot 100. It's interesting to see which hard rock songs kind of randomly, it almost seems, did crack into the Hot 100. Very surprised to see this one on the list. I've got Caledonia by Robin Trower. Really cool rock song with a really funky, almost R&B flair to it. Trower's doing like this fast, palm muted, almost kind of like funk groove on the guitar. James Dewar, so underrated as a vocalist, just an awesome, soulful voice. This one is also produced by Jeff Emmerich, who is best known as the Beatles engineer, but really cool. I'm going to go also with another hard rock song. I've got Cowboy Song by Thin Lizzy. This one didn't do as well as the other hits from the Jailbreak record, the title track and The Boys Are Back in Town. This one only made it, I think, to 80 something, maybe 70 something. But definitely my favorite. I think the guitar work on this track is phenomenal. I think it's the perfect blending of hard rock and Phil's kind of Irish folk storyteller type of songwriting. Gorham and Robertson just on fire throughout it. The solos are incredible. And I'm going to take heat for this, but I don't care what anybody says. Beth by Kiss is a great song, super well written. The orchestral arrangement on it is great. The production from Bob Ezrin is excellent. And Peter Criss knocks the vocal performance out of the park. I think it's great. And I am going back to the Kiss well for Hard Luck Woman, written by Paul Stanley. It was intended to be given to Rod Stewart. It was influenced by Maggie May and clearly sounds a lot like it, but I think it's one of the best songs Paul Stanley ever wrote. I think it's really good. The acoustic guitars sound fantastic. The hard pan, the two guitars complement each other so well. The bass line's great. The vocal again from Peter Criss having a heck of a 76. Maybe some jealousy creeping in. Why does our drummer keep singing all of our biggest hits? I love it though. I think it's great. And then my last one for the Hot 100 is TVC15 by David Bowie from my album of the year, Station to Station. As much as I love Mick Ronson and the Spiders from Mars, the band that he assembled here is so good. Carlos Alomar and all these guys are just excellent. You got Roy Bittan on piano. Apparently the song's about someone's girlfriend being eaten by a television or something, but it doesn't matter. It's just all groove, all feel, so danceable and just really fun, cool track. Love it.
All right, my wild card. This was really, really tough. It's the hardest I've had to pick because I don't know how much I really love all these songs. I love them, but I don't know, just in comparison, man, with 75, it's not quite the same. I do have to get something from songs from the Key of Life from Stephen Wonder, my 76 winner. My number 5 is going to be Have a Talk with God. Super funky. It's got this really cool swirling synth, like bubbling up under these cool harmonicas and Stevie's clavinet. And it's just really cool and interesting sounding. And he was using that big Tonto. It was basically this giant wall to create his synth sounds. And whatever synth sounds he came up with, like never surfaced ever again, because you will never hear a song anything like this ever by anyone ever. I wish he would go back to it himself, but he never did. So I don't know what happened, but so cool sounding. Number 4, got to get some Zeppelin on here. Just because I'll go with Achilles' Last Stand. Pretty much invented the whole galloping bass line triplet kind of thing. John Paul Jones was doing. It's like 11 minutes long, but it never feels 11 minutes long. It's just got cool drive, very guitar heavy since it was pretty much just Page writing most of these. So a little less of the synth stuff, which I don't mind, but a hard rock classic for sure. Number 3, we're going to go with it's just my favorite Steely Dan song. I don't remember. Don't Take Me Alive from Steely Dan. I love that opening guitar solo so much. It just changed me the first time I heard it. And it's just a great song. Another kind of like dark tale of some like murderer who's got a hostage, whatever, shootout with the police. Really just, what they were into in 76 on the Royal Scam. Number 2, there's all these albums I got to get these songs in on. And this is a tough one to choose. My favorite from Genesis, Trick of the Tail. Cramser will tell you that Squonk probably is the best, but I'm going to go with Ripples. And mostly because of that incredibly cool guitar solo part where Hackett's guitar, I think it's like reverse reverb, whatever they do, reverse the notes or whatever. Sounds awesome. And the piano on this song, it's a little similar to Firth the Fifth, just incredible piano playing, really cool guitar solo, and great vocals from new lead singer Philip Collins. Love him. And my number 1, though, is going to be a little number from Aerosmith. I got some hard rock on here. Back in the Saddle, favorite Aerosmith song. Just really unique sounding. Like I like that bullwhip, that really low guitar and bass. just a hard rocking Aerosmith song. Steven Tyler's really just like in his groove, in his full Steven Tyler-ness with all the like yodeling and crazy stuff he's doing. Just a hard rock classic, and my favorite from Aerosmith, and my favorite song that's not my winner from 1976.
We have two in common, almost three, almost four. Ripples just missed my list. Achilles' Last Stand just missed my list. But I do have a song off Presents, one I prefer, that no one's going to back me up on this, except probably my boy Jason. I got Candy Store Rock, one of the most underrated Zeppelin songs. It's got such a cool, like, 50s throwback style. The tone on the guitar is just friggin' awesome. Plant's just simple, oh baby baby, a la like Ricky Nelson or Roy Orbison, like just really friggin' cool. And Bonham's doing some really interesting stuff. Like he's really in control and really tight with his footwork and stuff, but he's kind of going nuts on the cymbals and making it a rock song. Like it's really awesome. Also going to go with my first Rush song, 2112. Awesome 20-minute plus epic with just really cool movements. And I've always liked the story of it with like the music being outlawed and all of that and finding the guitar and all of that stuff. I think it's awesome. Ridiculous fills all the way through by Peart, excuse me. And Lifeson is just writing some awesome borderline prog metal, just simple parts, and it just sounds awesome. Getty's screeching on this is pinpoint, just so good, especially in Temples of Syrinx. Fantastic. And then the two I got with ya, I got Don't Take Me Alive. Tremendous lyrics. You could just read it like a graphic novel almost. And the sound, the guitar solo at the beginning, and then just gets into that simple with that great groove behind it. Yeah, I love I Crossed My Old Man Back in Oregon, Don't Take Me Alive. That chorus is just, the imagery in the words just so good. I've also got Back in the Saddle. I think it was my favorite Aerosmith song when we did that a year and a half ago. I don't know if it still is, but hasn't dipped in quality. My love for Aerosmith has just grown a lot over the last year, but it's awesome. And yeah, that low end like guitar sound is just so cool. It's like filling the room, but it's also giving space for like Steven Tyler's like higher end. It's just perfect. And the screech with I'm Back is just perfect. Aerosmith rules.
All right, 4 wild cards for you. I've got my favorite song by this band, according to my top 10 list, and according to me right now, You Won't Change Me by Black Sabbath, from Technical Ecstasy. 2 phenomenal Tony Iommi guitar solos on this track. Starts out with that real heavy riff. It's almost like doomy early Sabbath. Then the organ kind of comes in. Then the power chords, it gets real melodic. Then the bridge has like piano and shaker. There's just so many cool parts. I love it. My next pick is Irene Wild by Ian Hunter. Great piece of songwriting from him. It's a ballad. You got Jaco Pastorius on bass on this one, although he doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. He kind of just hangs back. Really cool song about young, unrequited love and vowing to yourself that you're going to be somebody someday, just to show the other person what they could have had and what they're missing out on. My next pick is Cliche by Todd Rundgren. Todd's lyric writing around this time started to get a lot deeper, really cool and interesting stuff. I think some of his best lyrics are in this track. He somehow manages to work in the word vivisect, which I don't think I've ever heard in another song before. The chord progression is really cool, just a really beautiful song, great vocal performance. And then my last wild card before my winner is going to be Shake Some Action by the Flamin' Groovies. This kind of sparked the rise of power pop. They had a 5-year hiatus before this where they were in England. They actually recorded this in 1972 with Dave Edmunds producing, but it came out on their record of the same name in 1976. The guitar parts are so hook-filled. Every part, the vocals, there's just hooks and hooks and hooks, and I absolutely love it. I kind of wish a little bit that the recording was a little better. I think this could have been a huge hit if it just sounded a little bit crisper and a little shinier. But as it is, it still rolls. It's kind of a nod back to kind of British invasion bands. They even started dressing a little like that with the suits and the heeled shoes. And I don't know, this song just rolls. I love it. Super underrated. But there you go. Those are my wild cards. Time to get to the worst of the year.
Well, this probably isn't the worst of the year, but you know me. I gotta stick it to certain people all the time. Let Me In by Paul McCartney Wings is not my pick, but it could have been. That's what I meant to pick back when I picked Uncle Albert. So whatever, but there's a worse song and it went to number one. So I'm gonna give it to it. If you're really picking a worse song, it's probably like Muskrat Love by Captain Tennille. But you don't really hear that one anymore. So I'm going to go with New Kid in Town from the Eagles. I can't believe this went to number one. I've never heard it on the radio. And I think everyone's just forgotten about it. And then like they realize it was a mistake that it went to number one. It's so like wishy-washy, written mostly by our least favorite Eagle, the lamest one. It sucks. I hate it. New Kid in Town, my least favorite song of 1976.
That's a great choice. I had 9 contenders. Just behind my winner are the 8 songs off Turnstiles by Billy Joel. But my winner is Captain and Tennille with Muskrat Love. I can't stand this turd of a song, and it's just like inviting to be called a turd. The lyrics are so stupid and juvenile, and Sam is so skinny, chewing on cheese and munching on bacon, and oh, it's bad, and they don't even sound good. Like, I really don't understand what it is about them that got like record deals in the first place. Her voice is not good. There's no artistry. It is just, a cash grab. Stupid. Like, I just love to see a lineup with Captain and Tennille and Ray Stevens and like just all Jimmy Buffett, all these just losers of music.
All right, my worst of the year, just a really lightweight song. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's just total fluff. I've got Let Her In by John Travolta. Went to number 10. It's just really lame. There's no character at all to his voice. That could be absolutely anybody singing it. And there's like these really big high notes in it, which he hits technically, but there's no power behind his voice. There's no emotion behind it. It's just, I don't know. It's just nothing at all. So yeah, I think the track that everyone probably expected from at least one of us would be Disco Duck, which I believe is 76. But to me, that's just kind of harmless fun, whatever. I mean, it's not a good song, but I have no ill will towards it.
It's definitely more enjoyable than Muskrat Love.
Winners, winner, chicken dinner. My winner for 1976 is going to be Somebody to Love by Queen. Favorite Queen song, centerpiece, Day at the Races. Kind of the flip side to Bohemian Rhapsody, which is sort of very British, like choir sounding, like very kind of stately. Somebody to Love, they decided, hey, let's make a Aretha Franklin song. Totally pulled it off. Great gospel influence. The call and response between Freddie and his choir of 3 people, but it sounds like 100 because they tracked it, whatever they were doing in the studio. This was their glory period where they just pretty much did whatever they wanted. It all pretty much worked. And this is, I think, the pinnacle of what they were able to do. Yeah, I just think it's a really great song and really great bass work from John Deacon. I gotta add that. And just a wonderful song, extremely pretty, extremely, I don't know. I mean, it's not that Queen sounding in some ways, but it's also like what Queen could do. So it's gonna be my number 1. Pretty easy choice for 76, I think.
Yeah, you love that song. I think you said it was maybe a top 10 of all time.
Even though I'm a little queened out, like we did all that Queen stuff because we did the listography recently. And I mean, I've heard that song 8 million times, but still holds true.
I thought Don't Take Me Alive was going to be your winner, but guessing it as a nominee is good enough. And you guessed it for me, or at least mentioned it. Mine is Squonk. Love this period of Genesis. Last few Gabriel, first few Collins. Phil sounds great on this album before he gets too poppy and too big and too grandiose. And his drum work on this song is fantastic. I love the beginning of it. It's really dark and gloomy and has this slow intensity to it, but it's like the sparseness in between the slow moving verse that's just like really cool and icy. The guitar tone is really cool. It's just like these little plucked, like simple chords, but there's like this folklore behind it. I mean, he has the, all the king's horses and all the king's men never put a smile on that face line. And then it's just a really cool, like proggy, artful song. The drums are so heavy. I mean, it's not metal, but this is like a heavy song. And it's also got elements of like fluttering prettiness to it. Yeah, I think it's great. I love all the movements in it. I mean, eventually it comes by. It's not a traditional song where you get, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, all that. It's got like 6 different parts. And then it comes back and does it all again, which is just, a great illustration of their technique. It's fantastic. I just love the sound of it. Love how it's written. And it is my winner. Favorite song of 76. Squonk, Genesis. Will not win, not by a long shot.
It's my favorite song that mentions the squonk.
Me too.
This is going to be an interesting battle. I don't think I'm going to win. I don't know. Genesis got a lot of fans out there, especially in our comments.
But it's Phil Collins, Genesis. It's not Peter Gabriel. And Somebody to Love is, come on.
Yeah, it'll probably be Joe. But I still got to go with The French Inhaler by Warren Zevon as my song of the year for 76. Love it. It's the ultimate kiss-off song, super cutting lyrics. Wrote it after seeing his ex-wife out to dinner with another musician. So it's just really like bitter and, it's kind of a dark song. I love some of the lines in it, like your face looked like something death brought with it in its suitcase. Really cool, well written. It's got that sort of dark edge that Warren brings to a lot of his best work. So it's awesome. You also got those amazing harmonies in there too. I know rip on Glenn Frey all the time, but Glenn Frey and Don Henley sing the harmonies in this, and it's so awesome. They can do a lot when they got great songs like this, and even just singing harmony, they bring a ton to this song. So love it.
Never heard of it. Well, take your word for it, Jason. Sounds great. Thank you for another easy win. That's about it.
You sell out. You sell out pizza.
Hey, I picked Gene Clark in 74 and you guys couldn't take advantage. So
You did. Fair enough. 77 on the horizon. Is anyone going to be so bold to pick the Star Wars theme?
I will not be picking the Star Wars theme. But yeah, that's it. Let us know what your favorite songs of the year are. Drop them down in the comments. Let us know what you think of our picks. And of course, as always, like, subscribe, hit the bell, check the description. You got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram down there, our website where you can go vote for which of these songs is your favorite, as well as playlists so that you can check out any of the songs if you're interested. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, everyone.